Good day everyone. We are here in Mariano, Peralta Elementary School to conduct a security survey and to apply our learnings in LIA 213 or Industrial Security Management. And also for the compliance of our final video project under the guidance of our Professor Junil Mark D. Sarni.
We conducted our security survey on December 2023. Time check, 1:30 p.m. Weather check, it's sunny day. Let's go!
Perimeter barrier. Gates were used a barrier for intruder who deemed had a malicious intent of stealing some sort of valuable things in the said premise of Mariano Peralta Elementary School. But as we roam around, we saw some sort of problems like the back portion of the school was covered with wires or cyclone, mostly rusty. The length of the said barrier could be used as the hint for the intruder to do such act, approximately as height as the student. The front side was made by solid rag or a wall. The top portion, as we noticed, was inserted of some sort of metals and the tip of it was pointed. Recommendations: the least they can do to avoid any of those mentioned faculties was to rebuild or reconstruct the said barrier at the back portion of the school by using metals and hollow blocks. To tighten up the protection, they can somehow add some wires at the top of it. The wire should be thick that no one could ever reach or climb on. Protective lighting. The premise uses the same type of light as the bulbs and the fluorescent, which was good as it doesn't distract any children, but unfortunately, the way it was built was alarming because some wires are protruding. Others are in hang between edges and some are hang in woods that were attached onto the ceiling. For any instances, this type of installation might be the cause of the alarming incident of wildfire resulting in single and multiple damage to property or person. Recommendations: the best solution to avoid any collision or problem was to conduct monthly electrical surveys around the premise, either inside or outside room sets. Immediate response on changing the bulb and fluorescent to new one could help in eliminating any instances of massive disruption. Protective windows. Every classroom's barrier. Windows at the said premise was also covered with another protected barrier with different composition and style. Some was attached like a chain link fences and others are attached like barbed wire fences, and the approximate distance between strands exceed at 6 inches and one wire will be interplaced vertically and midway between posts. The problem of having different types of barrier usually higher down the capability of an intruder to intrude in the area where barrier was quite accessible, especially those barrier that can be easily cut and obstructed. Recommendation: better if they will change those passable windows that are seams accessible, twisted and cut down. Since some of the classroom has an appliances, better if they mitigate any circumstances early than to cure any maximum destruction at the end. And also, we encourage them to change and make all the barrier the same as thick as the others and as inaccessible. Personal barrier. It is quite alarming as the imposed person usually unseen in the said poses, and it doesn't hold any sort of protection like guns. All he has is his capability to fight, but he just hint the intruder to exclude while he has the ability to be weaker down. The personnel can somehow protect himself, but the question is, how about the school and the student as well? Recommendations: better if the school would hire someone who truly have an experience, and even those person who knows how to secure first the school more than himself, and the imposed person should have at least one gun or low gauge to be used since accident and incident are quite unpredictable. Protective locks and keys. Locks or padlocks. It is not a problem that a school can only purchase locks like padlocks since it is only an elementary schools. But Still, that doesn't mean the intruder would not get along with the specific area. Remember, they doesn't accept no one, since for them everything can be used and valuable. Recommendations: the least that we can recommend is to somehow interchange all the padlocks from one specific door to another to avoid duplication. Emergency planning. When it comes to school planning, it is alarming that they doesn't even have any of those plans imposed outside that can be seen by many. We already roam around, but all we can see is a sign of hazard nor a warning sign. Recommendations: planning makes the school and protrude by person who had a malicious intent to stall or to make any harming incident. It is called as backup plan to know and identify how strong those barrier used and imposed to avoid any complication as early. Planning can only last for an hours, but it can be used through generation to generation. The planning should have those things that should be enhanced from the simplest area up to the most valuable areas that is in need to be protected. Planning could be as a plan for risk like earthquake, fires, and water disruption, or plan for minor incident.